This is Keith Costello recording Starship Malaysia. Captain's Log 1, Starship Malaysia, midnight, Friday, September 4, 1982. This is Scott Mitchell reporting for Starship Malaysia. We're on a special mission to a new land, Malaysia, to discover everything about this country and its people. This is my first report, and I'm recording it in my bedroom late at night. At least here, I have some privacy. I've been teletransported from Palo Alto, my home, and oh man, I miss the States, especially my friends, most of whom can't be bothered to write. And yeah, they've got their own lives and stuff, but it's already been a few months, and I'm going to do these Scott in Malaysia tapes. I don't want to write, like, that's too boring. So you'll get these tapes with me talking. Oh yeah, I'll add some music. I'm doing this because I've got to sort my head out. Remember what that shrink back in California told me to do when I was kicking up about Dad and about them leaving and how I couldn't really express myself? I know we didn't get too much time to talk with everything going on, and then I left. And so this guy told me to write it all down, explain yourself so you can understand yourself. Then something like share it. You'll find people who are like you. Those were his exact words. What the fuck did that mean? I mean, I'm okay. People like me, who are they? I know I didn't contact you much when we were back in the UK. It was like too much. The move away from you guys and this new place, and the mum and this guy Pete, she's married. They were doing these exams, and I was at some dumb private school. And yeah, sorry, man. So here I'm in Malaysia with my mum and Pete. He's a Brit. Oh yeah, when we're now in a small town called Kota Bharu on the northeast coast of Malaysia. You know what gets me up in the morning? I see myself in the mirror and I go, hey, good looking, what's up? That little upper makes me smile and gets me going. Well, you know how good looking I am, the blue-eyed, blonde-haired, totally fit California guy. Yeah, I know, ego trip. But I need it, something to give me a buzz. I'm playing volleyball on the school team at this international high school. I'm learning Bahasa Malaysia, and yeah, I have a bunch of friends. How are you doing? Write me and give me all the dope on school there. I know I'm history, but I'd like to get something right or whatever. Private, recording 1, Malaysia and stuff. September 4, 1982. Right, I have to describe who I am to help me know stuff. Mum took me to England light years from Palo Alto. What an awesome place. My dad, the shrink asked me to talk about it, to get it out of my system. My dad worked for Hewlett and Packard, some kind of scientist there doing something. I mean, all I knew about HP was they built calculators and what he called secret projects. He was doing gas chromatography, something about dividing chemical substances into their colors or bands and analyzing them. Oh, I never paid too much attention. I had friends I hung out with, played volleyball, rode around on bikes and, whatever. So this is how it often went. I'm at home, Dad walks in. He's all worked up about something or someone from work, and I'm waiting for the explosion, but hoping it won't come. So I do my good son bit, something like, hey, Dad, work okay? And he goes, I'm busy. You and Mum, go ahead, eat. But I told you I'm busy, get out of my way. You see, that's how he got. He'd snap and get angry all of a sudden, and I hadn't done nothing. Just stood there trying to feel his mood and waiting to dodge the fist. Mum would jump in with some kind of, leave him alone, he's only a kid, and the argument would start. He'd be all tensed up and not talking or shouting about someone from work and how they were betraying him, and then go to his room and smoke, and then later all calm and, what's the word? Yeah, spaced out. He'd come out and we'd eat dinner. Sometimes we'd sit down and eat together, and yeah, they didn't argue, not at the table. Other times I'd hear the shouting, I could hear them, so I stayed next door, sat and ate and watched TV until I could go home. My dad and my mum were together for a while longer, but when I was 13, they split up. I suppose they loved each other before that. I mean, my dad fucked. Yeah, he fucked her and I came along. I'm meeting his sperm swimming up her canal and impregnating one of her eggs. Did they only do it once? I don't know. There were never any more brothers or sisters, just me, an only child. She was all tearful and everything when she was going, but I told her I was staying, so it went like this. I need to leave. What do you mean? I'm leaving your dad? Like forever? I mean, I knew this was coming. She'd been talking about it and letting me know she was going, and I could go with her to the UK. No way, I told her. I'm staying. My friend, school, something like that. Then later, like a week, Dad brings in this woman. Well, he'd invited her around to the house a few times with Mum there. She worked with Dad on a project. She was a pharmacist at HP and wanted to explore his inventions. At times, it felt like he invented it. He got really drunk and shouted about how, so she came around some evenings and they'd talk about how it could be used in different industries, cosmetics, like I needed to know. They'd turn off the TV and talk over the dinner table. So I had to be there, and Mum had made a great dinner, smoked ham. Oh man, you can't get it here, ham. Some Chinese places here do pork, but it's not really, this is an Islamic country. I can't tell Salah. You look at me like, well, I suppose it's like the French eating horse meat. I mean, gross. Dad told me they ate it during the war. Right, Agnes. I could see how she looked at him, and Mum could too. He spent a lot of time talking with her and excluding us. I mean, who wanted to talk for hours about women's makeup? Yeah, it was pretty quick that Agnes moved in. And he goes, say hello to Agnes. She's going to look after us while your mum's away. I'm like, what? And he goes, listen, Scott, your mum's gone. She's not coming back. Agnes is going to be your new mum. Fuck off. I'd never sworn at him before. He hit me right in front of this new woman. I ran out, stopping myself from blabbing like a kid. No idea where I was going, just away. I couldn't say this back in Palo Alto. What's the word? Suppressed it. Don't suppress stuff. Let it all hang out. That's what he said. Not those words, but I stayed over at a friend's house. Dad tracked me down, cried, and was all sorry and stuff, saying he'd never hit me again. But this Agnes was going to be living in the house, and Mum's not coming back, and I better get used to it. He's muttering some stuff like, I'm sorry, Scott, just lost it. I'm sorry, I love you. I didn't say nothing, just sat there. I wanted stuff just to get back to normal, but he's on about, it'll be like old times. We'll go fishing, just you and me. So I did go back. I hated what he'd done. What else can I do? Then when we go back to the house, he starts off with, apologize to Agnes for swearing. No way. I mean, I'm like all worked up again. He tricked me. Agnes, all dressed up in some party dress or something, goes, leave him be, John. It's okay. I understand. He'll get over it. It's been a shock for him. He'll get over it. That's what she said. He'll get over it? Agnes? Yeah, I haven't talked about her. Why do I remember a party dress? Mum never wore anything like that in the house. So they'd been somewhere? I asked Mum when we were living in the UK, after she'd gotten me out of there. I asked her if she knew about Dad having an affair with this Agnes woman. Of course she knew. Broke up their marriage. Then why hadn't she taken me? She started crying, grabbed me, and between gulps and gasps and tears, like, way too much. Me? Yeah, crying too. I mean, still hurts. She cried, I asked you, but you were too young to understand. You wanted to stay with your friends in school and wouldn't leave. Pete walked in just then and came up with some kind of crap like, you can't turn the clock back and you can't live with guilt and regrets because you can't change the past. Mum is gulping in more air by now and still hugging me, and I'm getting way too, whoa, I hadn't had this amount of emotion like ever. Pete had made dinner and we should come and eat it now, or in a strange way, eating kind of calmed us down. The act of swallowing, chewing, and drinking helped get our minds back into some sort of normal state. Agnes tried. I mean, I could get money off her when Dad wouldn't give me any, and she never told me. It's our little secret. So I got some money, but I had to be nice to her. It was a source of funds, the odd 20. I know it must have been really hard coming to the house and taking over. I was totally hostile at first, but then you can't spend all life hating. It really eats away at you. One of my friends, Charlie, Dad got a second wife, same thing, divorce, then new woman. He told me how difficult it was, but one of those counselors told him hate eats you up. And he had to find a way to balance his feelings for his mum and this new woman. It had taken time, and the doc gave him antidepressants, but now he was off them and feeling better. No way, I'm not taking pills. So deep breathing and volleyball. The exercise kicked in the adrenaline, which got rid of a lot of the negativity I'd been carrying around. But over it, I don't know. I'm burning myself up. I mean, at times I liked her, but she had to leave for a couple of months. A sick sister living in Nevada. He started to lose it again. Nightmares. He'd be sleeping and then screaming. This is when Agnes had left, screaming and shouting out her name. Steve, Steve, no. Then he'd be shouting some other stuff I couldn't understand. And suddenly he'd spring out of bed and I'd hear him pull up the window and jump outside. He was a rancher, so he just ended up on the outside lawn. I stopped him once, here's me, 12 or something. Dad, what's wrong? It's a nightmare. Where are you going? Then some garbled stuff from him. And I'm like, Dad, come on, let's get inside. I shook him, grabbed him, trying to turn him around and get him back to the bedroom. Then he lashed out and hit me, knocking me to the ground. I cried out and he rushed over to me and I could feel his tears falling on my face as he picked me up crying and carried me back to bed. Like I was the one who'd been out wandering around like some crazy fool. So sometimes he'd go nuts. But what can I do? I'm going to tell people and have them take me away. I had my friends, they knew, but they didn't tell anyone. That's what friends are for, right? Yeah. My dad's still dead and I've got to